considering spending more money. Has that changed? Is the board really going to send a message to our students that if you work hard, show dedication, and sacrifice, we're going to fire you? This is immoral. There is a nationwide shortage of bus drivers. Our Waterford parents know this. Every single person you talk to will tell you where they see buses with banners on them or help wanted signs. I tell them I'm going to lose my job. They say, look, what's my truck's going to they start naming off places I can go. Taking on a private company may move the day-to-day problems to a different desk, but you are still a public school board. You are still accountable to the public. The district had a private company come in for custodial staff, and that doesn't seem to be working out so well, as seen by the help wanted signs that are now out, the filthy restrooms, the unshoveled sidewalks this past year. Why would transportation be any different? Our parents are not going to take, well, it's a private company, for an answer. We need to work together to find solutions. This is what we need to teach our kids. Let's work together, figure this mess out. Actions speak louder than words, and I believe our actions show how much we care about our kids. If it was only about money, we'd all be gone, because everybody knows that Waterford is the lowest paying district around. Knowing your kids keeps them safe. We want to stay in our district because we know where we're going. It's safer. That's just a few of the reasons why we've stayed, to keep our kids safe.
Thank you. Becky, and then up next we will have Dave Arthurs.
Good evening, I'm Becky Lesh. I'm a school bus driver for 13 years in the district. Tonight, like my fellow coworkers, I'm here as a bus driver, not as the parent or the district resident that I am, or the president of the association. I'm here just as a bus driver. As my friend Twyla said, when you sacrifice and you get the district to that 5% and you listen and you do what needs to be done, you figure out how not to do something for your own kids, or how to do something a little bit better for your kids on your bus when they can't afford it, and maybe not do as much for yourself. It's sad that we would even think about this. 2 years ago, we did it $500,000 less than the lowest bid that you went out for. $500,000. That doesn't count that then we took 12%, and then we took 5 holidays away. So you were already cheaper. I'm pretty sure it's going to come in that we're still cheaper. You have a problem. We've shown it, we've told it, we've asked you to look at it. I would be sure to make sure that the facts and numbers that you're being given are truly facts and numbers. If you need the seniority list to know how many staff you had those years, holler, I'll give them to you. I sent them today through my UNICEF director. I mean, whatever you do, think long and hard, and don't think about just that, well, you know, I got those hundreds of calls, because for every call you got, there's a bus driver that got yelled at because their boss made them do 2 runs at the same time because they didn't have a driver who did their darndest to get them all done and get them all there as quick as they could. So for everyone that you answered, we also took the blame and brunt of those. I don't think, and I'm pretty sure I'd stake my reputation and the money that I do make in this district, that you're not going to get those calls even if you privatize. Think long and hard.
Arthurs and Kylie Molina on deck.
Good evening. I'm here tonight because I've been battling since the last meeting that we had about how to approach this. Do I go the soft, generous way? Do I go the bold, knock down the wall way? But I guess I got to just go what's in my heart and go with the truth. The fact of the matter is, you guys have not given us an opportunity, even though we've requested the opportunity to prove there's a better way. There's an easier way. There's a less hassle of a way. At no point in time has the supervisor of this department been held accountable.
Amen.
There at no certain time has the privatized contract supervisor been held accountable, knowing that when we went into this school year, we were shorthanded. At no time did anybody come into the bus department and say, we need to have an open discussion roundtable discussion. How do we make it better? You guys are in the field, you're dealing with the parents, you're dealing with the traffic, you're dealing with the students on the bus, you're dealing with everything that has to do with getting these kids to and from safely every single day, with all the elements and everything that we have to go through. That was never asked of us. What's your ideas? What's your thoughts? What have you heard? What do you think? We've never been asked. But you will go, yeah, this year's been horrible. We're getting thousands of calls. Yeah, okay, privatize it so we can wash our hands and just be done and say it's not our fault. It's now the privatized company. You don't want to take away from this district. You said that last at the meeting, Mr. Wonderlick, but at the same time, that's exactly what you're doing. We have drivers that have been here over 20 years that don't even live in this county, don't even live in this township. And with all the cuts and all the takeaways and everything that's been going on, they still show up every single day. And they refuse to quit. Why? Because it's personal. Privatization is a paycheck. This district, these drivers have proven it's personal. They love their kids. I love my kids. I had a CDL Class A license before I even came here 4 years ago. I could be making $70,000 a year in a semi-truck. I chose not to. I chose this job because I live here, my kids go to school here. I have a 2-year-old that's going to be going to this district because I have no intentions of leaving. And I want to make sure that my presence is felt with those kids and that I'm making a difference. And I've seen it from the minute I hired into this place, from the oldest seniority driver to the newbie just like I was. The fact of the matter is, I never thought bus drivers cared about the kids. I always thought it was a sit down, shut up, I'm taking you to school. That ain't the case. Bus drivers sit at houses when they see that a car's not in the driveway or somebody's not standing in the window, call base and say, hey, something's wrong here. Can you just call and make sure someone's there because normally Jimmy's got someone standing there. We don't just drop and go. We sit, we stay, we make sure, and then we proceed. Does that take time? Does that make us late? Absolutely it does. But the kids are safe. And that's what matters. And I don't care who you ask, I don't care what you say, every single driver will tell you the same thing. I love my job, I love my kids, and I will do anything to make sure they're safe. We're doing it now, and they know for a fact we'll continue to do it. Privatized company, they show up, put them in, drop them off, move on to the next. I don't know, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but over the 4 years that I've been here, that's what I've seen with my own eyes, and I just don't understand why the district isn't asking us who are in the field, what can we do? We want to give you a chance to prove that, yes, there is a better way. Because obviously, we privatized with a contract supervisor. Where'd that get us this year? It hasn't gotten us anywhere because the problem's still there. Why hasn't management been held accountable, and why haven't you asked us, how do we make this better? Because I guarantee you, with over 400 years combined experience, I'm pretty certain we got a pretty good idea on how we can make this better on a day-to-day basis and take the stress off of the office staff and central government.
Kylie, and then we have Drew Campbell up next.
Hi, I'm Kylie Molina. I'm going to read. I'm not going to be looking at you because I might forget something. My name is Kylie Molina. I've been a bus driver for Waterford for 20 years. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Transportation Department. We have all heard the rumors, read the letters sent to parents, and seen the posts on social media. And excuse me, I have bronchial pneumonia, and no doubt got that from one of my kids on the bus. But that's okay. Okay. I'm here to tell you that there is misconception of what has been going on in the Transportation Department. We, the drivers, are not a bunch of mindless idiots, as one parent posted. We, the drivers, are well educated and fully capable of driving our students to and from school safely. Let me introduce you to our drivers. We have drivers that are registered nurses, mortgage brokers, chaplains, entrepreneurs. We have retired police officers. We had a retired police officer that worked there not even 6 months, and he said, I can't do it. I don't know how you do that. I will go be a police officer before I can drive these kids. It's a hard job. Until any one of you have been behind that wheel and taken all the responsibility, you have no idea. I didn't till I started. Boy, I learned, and I love it. And we love our jobs and we love our students. Their safety and education is our first priority. We have drivers that bring food to the kids, clothes when they can't afford them, drivers that bring the homeless kids snacks because they know all they're going to get is the food at school. And we are the eyes and ears of the community. We look out for the safety of our students. We have been bitten, spit on, called the names of body parts, and some of us have even received broken noses and fingers. But still, we perform the duties of our job. Why? Because we care. No, the problem doesn't lie with the drivers, but with management. Have you ever started a project and forgot the tools needed to complete the job? Well, that's how it's working under management. We have it in the Transportation Department. Every day, management forgets routes to cover, shuttles to run, even field trips that were requested months in advance. We're forced to change bus stops to unsafe and even illegal conditions and then reprimanded when we refuse. Daily, we're rushed to cover some forgotten tasks, and students are left in the cold or just left. Many of the same issues that parents have, the drivers had first. When brought to the attention of management, we are either told, we'll get back with you, or our emails and phone calls go unanswered. There were several issues brought to management's attention in October 2016. Finally, in March 2017, we received an answer. Daily, we are covering 2 to 3 extra routes so that the students can get to and from school. Not because of the shortage of bus drivers necessarily, but because of the inefficient direction of the department. It's a fact, people. It's not just, oh, we're going to throw it out there. It's fact. We have all the facts. We can sit down and tell you. And then they said, we put out a big thing. We're looking forward to hiring new drivers this new year. You can't hire new drivers if you never look on the website for applicants and call them. We've had several new hires recently that applied back in October and November, and they are now working with us because they walked in the Transportation Department and asked what happened to their applications. That is not the control of the bus drivers. That is management. We have been blamed and used as excuses for the district's mistakes. We, the drivers, have been thrown under the bus, no pun intended. It's time for the employees, the people who actually do the job, what changes can be made. If the district would only listen, you might find that we have many good ideas. Stop blaming the employees and correct what has done wrong, and take responsibility for your actions. Sorry, I wrote it too small. And I close with this. Well, no, I actually close with a couple things. But here's the one thing. We have stickers on our car that says, quality employees. I'm going to tell you, darn it, we are awesome employees. But it takes quality supervision to keep us. And it's not happening, people. It's not. It's crazy. Do you know, when you go in and the supervisor says, oh, you got to run it and take a bus and pick up this field trip. It was a sports They 30 minutes late and I show up. Do you think he likes me now? He hates me because it's all my fault. And it wasn't my fault. I'd have been there on time if I would have got it. I apologize. I bend over backwards apologizing every day. 20 years. First 10 years I was here, nothing like this. Nothing even compared to this. 15 years, no. I'll say 10. And it has gone nothing but go downhill. And you ask me why I stay? Because I could write a book. And I'll start trying just like she did. Because I drive special needs now. And I've been doing that for like 7 years. And they are in my heart forever. You talked about be thankful for what you have. When I see these kids, I think, I don't know how those parents do it. But they have me. And that's a good thing. Now I'm done.
Drew Campbell, and up next would be Lori Tunick.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm here to speak in opposition of privatizing our fine bus drivers. I look at it this way. There are two sides to every story. One side of the story is it's the bus driver's fault that schedules are not being met. The other side is management is not doing their job scheduling routes. My view is we need to recruit more bus drivers. It's that simple. Waterford is an educational institution. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I ask you as board members to direct our administrators to go back and work on this. I think that is what your job is. Why would we hire administrators to hire a private company to do their job for them? I don't understand that. We should have learned by hiring D.M. Burr, privatization doesn't work. I ask you to please ask accordingly and keep these fine bus drivers.
Good evening. My name is Lori Tunick, and I represent the Waterford School District employees who are members of the Michigan Education Association. I was a former high school teacher for over 17 years. I have personally seen what privatization does to a district. I worked in a school that in a 5-year period was serviced by GCA Custodial Service, EnviroClean, and DM Burr. Some of these companies lasted 1 year with the district and some maybe 2. These companies were released from their services when they failed to adequately maintain their staffing they promised to the district. This same district, at the same time, privatized their transportation department with Durham Transportation. Durham was non-renewed this year for multiple reasons, some of which included not able to adequately staff as promised, chronically arriving late or no-shows to pick up kids for school, drivers dropping students off at wrong stops, drivers dropping kids off at a local McDonald's, and most frightening, dropping a kindergartner off at a stop when there was no parent or guardian at that stop and simply left a 5-year-old to wander the neighborhood. I attended the mandatory pre-bid meeting and was surprised to hear the vendors admit they too have a problem with staffing. One vendor even mentioned with this transitioning happening so fast in this district will result in a, and I quote, a very bumpy transition to the start of the school year. In 2015, the district took RFPs for transportation. Just 2 years ago, the lowest third-party company was still $500,000 more than the cost of maintaining your own employees. Still, members of MESPA CFMT took an additional 12% concessions in pay, a further reduction of 5 holidays, and changes to their health care. My members across this district have financially sacrificed so the district could make its 5% mandatory state fund balance requirement. Please explain to me why now the district has finally reached that 5% goal and the district is going to even consider spending more money on a third-party company to transport its children. Is this board willing to dip below the 5% goal my members, your employees, have sacrificed to achieve? Let me close with this. I need to invite each and every one of you to ride on a bus. Please, you have my number. I've emailed you several times in the last couple of weeks. You have Becky's number. We'd love to have you see exactly what's going on and know what these drivers and aides do every day. Thank you.
I have no more green cards, but is there anyone else that would like to speak? Please come up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marnie McKnight Tomioka. I'm up here for 3 reasons. I've got kind of a vested interest in all of this. Firstly, I have 2 students. My son is an 11th grader, my daughter is a 9th grader, and they have been riding the bus since kindergarten, and I have nothing but glowing things to say about the service that these drivers have provided over those years. I live in the neighborhood near Kingsley, Montgomery. I've been there 13 and a half years, and I've worked at Stepanski for 8 years, all in the Head Start department. See a lot of familiar faces here. These drivers work with the most vulnerable students, the youngest students, and they give their utmost to provide fabulous service daily. You will not get dedication or loyalty by privatizing. I urge you to keep them all.
Anyone, please.
My name is Jerry Riley. I've only been with the bus driving for about a year and 3 months. Before that, I spent 17 years as a chaplain at a maximum security prison in the Upper Peninsula. I have been more stressed driving this bus than 17 years. That's not a joke. And you know what? I have an opportunity to kind of move up to maybe a better route. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. I believe the Lord has had me sit right where I am. He's put these kids on my heart. I pray for these kids on my buses every single night. And you know, we got these little kids, the kindergartners, we know where they live. We know who's supposed to pick them up. Even the older kids, you know, we watch. They get off and they go scatter like cockroaches in 4 different directions. We're watching traffic. We care for these kids. My wife goes, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Because I'm supposed to be here." You know, I watch these people get at their bus 10, 15, 20 minutes ahead of time in the winter to get the buses warmed up and get them ready to go. More times than not, I'm glad. My trainer, Cindy, said, if you're here on time, you're late. I've needed many times those 10, 15 minutes, which we're not getting paid for, to switch buses at the last minute because mine wouldn't start. I've seen this happen time and time again, so we can get out and get those students on time. I think the biggest thing I'm hearing, and I'm seeing from my fellow workers, we do care for these kids. And we get yelled at. I won't even go there. Some of the things you get called by students and by parents. We want to get these kids there back safe and sound. We do care for them. Thank you.
Anyone else? And again, we don't usually do a comment question. This is just you have the opportunity to speak. But I don't think anyone up here questions your abilities, your character. I would just clean out some of my mom's old stuff, and in her stuff, she had her mom, who was a bus driver, and had some of her stuff, some cards from the kids, and I remember going over there as a kid, you know, the different things that she would get. You're the first people that the child sees in the morning, the last one they see at the night. Do not question how much we appreciate you. That isn't the question. So, but again, we're not getting into that part of it, but thank you all very much. Superintendent's report, Dr. Wunderlich.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure if you all sat down and selected who would be the very best people to tell the story of the Waterford bus drivers, but I think you selected a great slate of people to speak this evening and tell the story very well and very compassionately, and I hope that the public is watching and that there should be no question about how much drivers care. There's a lot of things that I heard that I didn't know. I didn't realize that you had parents angry at you. I know they were angry at me, but I didn't realize they were taking it out on you. And so we have never portrayed it as something that was that this was the driver's issue. So, but very compassionate, very compelling presentation, so appreciate that very much. Lynette, there you are. I know you were looking right at me about that snow day that we didn't have. I apologize for that. That's actually in my graduation remarks. I'm going to apologize to the seniors too, because I owed them a day. That was a bad call. I agree with you on that. Twyla, we had Twyla as the bus driver just recently for one of our trips. So we have worked with folks and have been in buses, not full of kids, but I will take you up on that offer. Kylie, maybe I should ride in your bus. That sounds like you'd be very entertaining. So get with me and let's go for a ride. But we do certainly appreciate you, and this is a proposal. We're going to take a look. Last time we took a look, we came back to Waterford. There has not been a decision made. We just need to take a look because we have not been able to offer the service that we wanted to be able to offer. But very impressive group of people you had come to the microphone. I don't think that anybody wasn't moved by what you had to say. So thank you for caring about our kids. We do appreciate that. I was also going to mention the KMS graduation today, which was great, and Life Tracks, and our 3 graduations coming up on Sunday. A wonderful time of year. Tonight actually was Haviland's leadership night, and that's part of the Leader in Me program. A couple of us went to a presentation by the Michigan Department of Ed at Oakland Schools, and one of the things that they held up as one of the premier programs in the state was Leader in Me, and Waterford has been a long-time leader in the Leader in Me program. So it's great, and that's some of what Haviland is doing tonight, and other Leader in Me buildings has done as well. One thing that I did just recently, and anybody who had the opportunity to do it, it was just a fantastic experience. This goes back to our STEM program. One of the assignments for our STEM students was to put together presentations for 4th graders. And so we had our 4th graders visit the STEM program and see these presentations. And there were all sorts of different things, from very loud things like a ping pong ball shooter, air compressor thing that got a lot of attention from the 4th grade. There were homemade lava lamps showing the properties of liquids. They were making airplanes and talking about the aerodynamics of airplanes and what could change the aerodynamics. But it was just a wonderful learning opportunity for both sets of students. From the 4th grade perspective, they just thought everything was so cool, but from that 11th and 12th grade perspective of being in the teacher's shoes and being able to share their knowledge with the kids was just great to see. And I didn't know the kids well, but I was told there were several of the students who would have been your more shy and reserved, more academic kind of student who really came out of their shell to do those presentations for the 4th graders. So a wonderful experience and a great testament to the things that we're doing in that program. And not a bad sales pitch for those 4th graders coming up that might say, that's what I want to do when I go to high school too. So great time of year, lots of things like that happening, and some of our capstones this Sunday with graduations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned.